Tonight, you will set down a bowl of food. Your cat will glance at it, then glance at you, as if you are late, as if you have failed at the one job it gave you.
So sorry.
You will apologize to an animal that weighs 4 kilograms, and somewhere deep down, you will mean it.
Sucker!
But the real answer is far stranger than a spoiled pet. Your cat does not think it owns you because it is rude. It thinks it owns you because biologically, it has no other framework for what you are.
It's nothing.
Start with the obvious question. Why does a dog look up at you like you hung the moon, while a cat looks at you like you're mildly late for an appointment it never agreed to? The difference is not affection. It is 10,000 years of different math. Dogs were domesticated to work with you, hunting, herding, guarding. Their entire nervous system was reshaped around reading your face, your hands, your tone. A dog's brain evolved to treat you as a leader. Cats were never domesticated that way. They walked in on their own terms. Around 10,000 years ago, in the Fertile Crescent, early farmers began storing grain. Grain attracts rodents. Rodents attract wildcats. The cats showed up uninvited. They did not need training. They did not need permission. They simply found a buffet and decided to stay. Biologist Carlos Driscoll, who led a genetic study of wildcat domestication published in Science in 2007, traced nearly all house cats back to a single wild ancestor in the Near East. His research found something unsettling for anyone who calls themselves a cat owner. Cats were not bred by humans. They bred themselves into human spaces. That distinction changes everything that follows. A dog was selected for obedience. A cat was selected for proximity tolerance. In plain English, that means humans did not pick the friendliest cats and breed them.
Nope.
The cats that could simply stand to be near humans without panicking survived and reproduced near granaries. Generation after generation, the cats that were a little calmer around people got a little more food. That is the entire deal cats signed with humanity. Tolerate us in exchange, eat well, no leash, no command training, no hierarchy, which means when your cat sits on your laptop while you work, it is not defying a chain of command. There was never a chain of command to defy, so why does your cat seem to demand things from you the way a tiny landlord demands rent? Here is where it gets stranger. Cats did not evolve a strong instinct to read human dominance, but they did evolve something else. The ability to manipulate you almost by accident using sounds your brain is hardwired to obey. Animal behaviorist Karen McComb at the University of Sussex recorded cats meowing for food and played the recordings back to people in 2009. Her study found that cats had developed a specific kind of meow layered with a frequency close to a human infant's cry. People rated those meows as more urgent and harder to ignore, even when they had no idea why. Your cat did not read a manual on human psychology. It simply learned through trial and error which sounds made you move faster. Over generations, the cats whose cries triggered your parental instincts got fed first. The pattern stuck. So when your cat yowls at 5 in the morning, it is not commanding you. It has stumbled onto a button in your brain that you cannot fully turn off. Now think about the slow blink, the headbutt, the way your cat walks across your keyboard and presses its whole body against your hand. For a long time, scientists assumed cats were simply less social than dogs, less bonded, more independent. That assumption turned out to be wrong. Kristen Vitale, a researcher at Oregon State University, ran a study in 2019 modeled on the same attachment tests used to study human infants and their parents. She placed cats in a room with their owner, then briefly removed the owner, then brought them back. The question was simple. Does the cat treat its owner as a source of security? The results surprised even Vitale's team. A majority of cats showed what researchers call secure attachment, the same pattern seen in human toddlers and dogs. When their person returned, the cats relaxed. They explored the room more freely. They were not indifferent. They were anchored. Your cat is not pretending not to need you. It needs you in a way it has no vocabulary to express because cats never developed the elaborate submission rituals dogs use. A dog wags, bows, and rolls over to signal you're in charge. A cat has none of those instincts loaded into its hardware, so when it wants comfort, it improvises. It headbutts you, depositing its scent, marking you as part of its territory, not the other way around.
Your soul is mine.
Think about that for a moment. When your cat rubs against your leg, it is not submitting to you, it is claiming you.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
You are not the owner in that moment. You are property being labeled. That is the strange contradiction at the heart of cat behavior. The same animal that needs your presence to feel calm will also treat you like furniture it has decided to keep. This is not coldness. It is a different operating system entirely, one built without a single generation of selective breeding for hierarchy. Now consider what happens when your cat ignores a command. You call its name.
Why are you ignoring me? Typical cat.
Nothing, you call again, still nothing. A dog owner would assume disobedience. But Dennis Turner, a behavioral ecologist who has spent decades studying domestic cat sociology, found something different. Turner's research describes cats as forming relationships based on negotiation rather than obedience. A cat does not calculate whether to obey you, it calculates whether responding is currently worth the energy. There is no guilt module running in the background. There is no chain of command being violated, which means the moment you call your cat and it stares at you unmoved, you are not being disrespected. You are simply outside a system that was never built around respect at all. So why does it feel like ownership? Why does it feel so consistently like your cat believes the house, the bed, and your lap belong to it by birthright? Because in the only framework your cat has ever evolved, there is no concept of a boss. There is only territory, comfort, and whoever reliably produces food. You happen to be the largest, warmest, most predictable source of all three. Of course, it acts like the room is its for the deciding. In its mind, the question of ownership was never on the table. It walked in 10,000 years ago, decided you would do, and never left. And that, it turns out, mirrors something deeply human too. Psychologists studying attachment in adults have noticed a similar pattern. The people who feel safest in a relationship are often the ones who act the least like they need permission. Confidence does not always mean independence. Sometimes it is the opposite. It is the quiet certainty that no one is going anywhere. Your cat is not pretending to own you out of arrogance. It is behaving like an animal that has never once doubted you would stay. Consider for a moment what your cat does when you cry. Not when you call it, not when you offer food, when you simply sit on the floor upset with no agenda at all. Many cat owners describe the same strange scene, and the cat that ignores commands all day suddenly appears. It sits close. It does not demand anything. It just stays. Researchers studying feline social cognition have noted that cats are remarkably good at distinguishing a person's emotional tone from background noise. Even without a dog's long evolutionary training in reading human faces, your cat is not responding to a command in that moment. It has no script for crying. It is simply noticing that the largest, warmest source of food and safety in its territory has changed in a way that matters, and choosing to stay near it anyway. That single behavior unravels the entire myth of feline indifference. An animal that truly saw you as nothing more than a vending machine would have no reason to sit beside you when the vending machine stopped dispensing anything useful at all. Now widen the lens further. Why does your cat choose, of all the surfaces in your home, to sleep directly on your chest, your laptop, your open book, the one object you are actively using? It is tempting to call this spite. It is not. Cats regulate body temperature far more sensitively than humans do, and a resting human body radiates a steady, reliable heat source unlike almost anything else in a modern home. But warmth alone does not explain why your cat prefers you over a heated blanket or a sunny windowsill. The difference is scent and rhythm, your heartbeat, your breathing, your particular smell, layered over years of repeated contact, become as familiar to your cat as its own territory markings. Sitting on you is not an inconvenience your cat is inflicting on you. This reframes the entire idea of a cat being aloof. Aloofness assumes detachment. What researchers like Vitale and Turner have documented instead looks more like a private, undemonstrative form of attachment expressed through proximity rather than performance. Compare that to a dog again briefly, because the contrast sharpens the picture. A dog announces its bond constantly, tail wagging, eye contact, exaggerated greetings at the door. Evolution rewarded dogs that displayed loyalty visibly, because visible loyalty made early humans more likely to keep them around as working animals. Cats never had to perform loyalty for anyone. Nobody selected them for theatrical devotion. They were welcome to stay simply by being tolerable.
You're goddamn right.
So their bond evolved without a performance layer. It exists, but it is quiet, mostly invisible, legible only to someone who has learned to read it. This is why so many
Loves
people
me.
insist their cat loves them, while struggling to point to specific evidence beyond a slow blink and an occasional nudge. The evidence is real. It is simply written in a much smaller font. There is one more piece of the puzzle worth sitting with, and it concerns territory itself. When your cat walks the perimeter of a room before settling down, when it inspects a new box before delivery has even been unpacked, when it insists on supervising you cooking dinner from the counter's edge, it is doing something inherited directly from its wild ancestors.
Ever wonder why your cat does that? It is all about inherited instinct. Like that sudden urge to pounce, hardwired right into their DNA.
Wildcats are solitary hunters. Solitary hunters survive by knowing every inch of their territory better than any predator or rival could. That instinct did not vanish when cats moved indoors. Your living room is not a shared space to your cat. It is a hunting ground that happens to also contain you. And because you are the largest, most consistent, most resource-rich feature inside that hunting ground, your cat treats you the way it treats the most important tree, the warmest patch of sun, the most reliable food source, something to monitor, something to claim, something ultimately worth staying close to. So the question was never really, why does your cat act like it owns you? The more accurate question is, why would it act any other way, given that nothing in its evolutionary history ever taught it that ownership could run in the opposite direction? Tonight, when you set down that bowl of food and your cat looks at you the way a landlord checks the date on a rent payment, remember what's actually happening. You are not being judged by a creature that thinks itself superior. You are being trusted by a creature that 10,000 years ago decided humans were safe enough to stop running from and never found a reason to leave.